Hello there, I'm Dante here with you, and I'm wanting to share with you this beautiful video that's a short introduction to who I am, what I do, and why my services and videos might be of assistance to you. So I'm a spiritual guide, and I guide people to find that spirit in their heart, that teacher in their heart, the power they are, the light they are, so that it can guide them through their life. And through that light, miraculous things take place. And in this new paradigm, I really believe that we're moving beyond the idea of gurus and students and teachers and somebody higher than you who has more of a connection. That's the greatest illusion, is that some spiritual teacher or someone outside is more connected than you, and therefore more powerful. We are all equally connected to Source, and while a lot of us may have more experience in some fields than others, we are essentially all one, and we are waking up to that, and that knowledge is being found within the heart. So as we come to awaken our heart, we let that creative impulse, that beautiful spark of the divine within us, guide us on our path and awaken this magical force of synchronicity that allows us to be in the right place at the right time, meet the right person at the right time. And this all happens through pure excitement and passion and joy. And that's what I'm here to share. That's why my channel is called Be Bliss, because we are all that essential bliss that is all that is. Sat Chit Ananda, pure consciousness of bliss. And we are all coming to access that with greater ease. In these times, we don't need to spend years meditating or practice difficult regimens in order to access that bliss within our hearts. So, I do many things. I am a yoga teacher, a Kundalini Yoga teacher, because I follow the path of Kundalini Yoga, though a lot of the things that we find in the yoga world that are very strict and structured, based in this structure is great, strictness is not so great. This old paradigm of what I was just talking about, the guru-isms and the rules that are not so helpful, the rigidity that keeps you kind of like meditating like this all day, it's not so fun. So I'm kind of making fun of the old paradigm and old paradigm spirituality by calling what I do Kundalini Yoga. And I like to bring a lot of lightness and joy to our lives, and hence Kundalini Yoga is a very fun practice that combines Kundalini Yoga with laughter. And Yogi Bhajan even said that the only things you have to do every day are laugh and sweat. I'm sweating right now in the sun, so I took care of that one. And laughter is easy, and when you add laughter to anything, it just lightens it up and brings that joy again. That joy within our hearts is really what is the most healing and the most powerful medicine of this time. It's in the heart. So I am a yoga teacher. I am a channel for extra-terrestrials. The Pleiadian extra-terrestrial groups are the ones that work most closely with me, though I've had experiences with a wide variety of different extra-terrestrial groups that come to me in, I guess you call them altered states of consciousness, dream states, when the human consciousness can access that higher level of our own awareness, we can meet these beings. And I've astral journeyed to a lot of their homes and ships and planets, and I have this relationship with the Pleiadian group in particular that allows me to anchor their frequency here. I've always been very fascinated by extraterrestrials, and I had my first experiences with them, both viewing them in the sky and psychic connection in 2013. And I'll share more of my starseed story in another video. What else do I do? Oh, chocolate. Chocolate is a big thing that I do. Chocolate is my most favorite thing. Okay, I couldn't say I have a most favorite thing, but chocolate is probably my most favorite plant. um, Cacao is a heart-opening teacher, and the old legend about cacao was that in times when humanity has disconnected from nature, cacao comes to help people open their hearts and reconnect with the natural world, bringing order and harmony in times when there's great despair and chaos. And cacao is this teacher plant that my teacher called the food for the shift, or rather, cacao told my teacher that she is the food for the shift. You can call her a she, you can call him a he, it doesn't really matter. I perceive the energy of cacao as a more feminine plant, though that's something that is up to everyone because I feel these plants are mostly androgynous in their form, though they have within them both that masculine and feminine aspect. So how did this all happen to me? I live in Guatemala half the year. I travel the other half of the year. I am at this moment incredibly busy doing all of my sessions and weekly offerings and classes and planning for retreats. So I lead retreats where I combine all of these different aspects together. And it's just a really amazing life, and I'm excited to watch it continue blooming and developing. Among the other things that I do, I have a lot of experience and knowledge with plants and focus on a healthy diet and keeping the body in its most optimum state. So I don't prescribe to any particular diet or style, though I do focus a lot on this, as well as vibrational healing, particularly with sound. And everything is really vibration. In these times, so much healing happens just from one vibration attuning to another. And we all link our vibrations with our source, which is pure love, light, and oneness. And as we do, that energy can be transmitted with great ease. And sound is the best carrier wave for that. And a lot of the beings that I work with say that they're communicating with words for us now because that part of our mind still needs to catch on to these higher dimensional energies and concepts. And once we're ready for that, then sound will be the healing of the future. And eventually we'll come to a point where we are purely telepathic beings, much like the extra-terrestrials. And we will transmit energy just through sound rather than specific words. That's a long way in the making. Right now I just use sound to help open that connection more and to transfer energies and will really help others resonate with those higher energies with greater ease. Okay, so how did this all happen to me? I'm still quite young, I'm 26. I had my illumination, our first awakening experience at 19. So I grew up in Pennsylvania outside of a place called Reading. And my mother's side of the family were conservative farmers, and my father's side was more liberal in its nature. My parents were pretty fun, though they also had a lot of problems with addiction, and I was kind of raised into this point where people were just blaming each other and asking me to be the mediator between them, telling me things about the other adults, like people within my family, while encouraging these addictive tendencies or kind of sparking them through resonance within me. And I went away to Philadelphia to university, and I was in a point of a lot of addiction and a lot of just despair and confusion about my family, about my sexuality as a gay person. I just had come out a couple years before, and I was just figuring my place out, and I didn't really understand much of anything, but I was very called to yoga initially just as a way to get myself out of that despair. And then the yoga call again initiated after I discovered some magical plant teachers who I took on my 19th birthday. And I always will remember that day and that moment and everything leading up to it and everything surrounding it as just how everything was so perfectly aligned and synchronized for that struck me in a really profound way. And I knew that there was a higher purpose, and that at the moment the only thing that it could find in my mind to be an example of what this energy coming to me was the Buddhist way of the path to enlightenment. And I was like, oh yeah, enlightenment, yeah, that's the thing. I kept taking a lot of medicines. I eventually did a yoga teacher training. I traveled. This was all just catalyzed by those initial experiences that I have to keep my focus in this direction. And eventually found my way out of those addictive tendencies with a lot of commitment and a lot of passion towards really feeling good through natural means, through yoga, through health, and through these plants. And in this process, I began to encounter a lot of information that was channeled and ways of connecting with multidimensional beings, and they started to come to me from 2012 and kind of teach me. I had encountered a lot about the 2012 idea, the 2012 experience that we all collectively agreed to have by incarnating on this planet, of shifting collectively into a new earth, into an earth that was capable of moving into these higher dimensions. And the Mayan predictions, the Mayan calendar came up, and the first place that I went when I traveled was a rainbow gathering. I found out that there was another one in Palenque, Mexico, and I basically put everything I had in that moment in going. I didn't know where the money for the trip would come from. I just bought the ticket and took the journey. And it was a really profound experience that led me to deepen my knowledge of what I'd been learning through yoga, through energy healing, Reiki. I became a Reiki master right before I left, through shamanism and plant teachers. And in these moments at the gathering, I had my first contact experiences in really connected ways, just seeing these ships come and in having group telepathic contact, which was very interesting and just changed my whole reality. I felt like I was in just that month in an entire different world, because I was, and it was very, amazing. I wanted to work deeper with ayahuasca, though. I was traveling with a van filled with a lot of people and dogs. Hippie van coming to, we wanted to take the hippie van down to South America, and a lot of us were called very strongly to work with ayahuasca medicine. Though instead, against my conscious desire, I was brought to this lake where I met a chocolate shaman who, from the first ceremony, I was just blasted open into this really profound state that before it took a really strong plant medicine to get me to that state. And with chocolate, I was just there in a second. Not in a second, maybe like half an hour. But through the meditations, through the processes, I was there. And I was still learning a lot. I was still releasing a lot. I actually immediately began teaching yoga and then teaching Reiki, meeting another psychic and shaman who became a guide for me for several years here. Both him and the chocolate shaman really opened up a lot of gateways for me and taught me how to use these abilities and these gifts that I had and practice them and apply them. And I've come back here every year since then and deepened my knowledge. And the other half of the year when it's raining here, right now it's dry and beautiful and always sunny and nice. When it's raining here, I adventure around the world through the States and through Europe, and I share the chocolate, I share the wisdom, I share channeling sessions, and it's an amazing life and it's an amazing journey. Over the years, I've deepened this knowledge in many ways, working with too many different other healing modalities and teachers for me to share in this short video. Here's the gist of it, though. So my vision for my life is really to be an embodiment of what I've learned so far and to continue practicing. I still have a long way to go with my yoga and pranayama practice, and I'm enjoying it so much. I feel all the time, even in 7 years of practice from starting at 19, still hasn't really brought my body to that most ideal place. I can see that place and I can envision it, but really that's just one way of saying that, like, the way that we're living on this planet now is not helping our bodies be fully aligned. Our bodies are not fully receptive to the bliss and the light and the magic that's there. And I like to work on every level: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Spiritual is probably the easiest one, the most subtle, most fun, though we have to really get in there with the body as well. And I'm still doing that. I have a lot to learn. I'm really called to continue as well working with other teachers, though I already have that openness and that receptivity to be the light and be the guide for others to make the shifts in their life. And Bashar and so many other channeled beings, including the ones that I work with, make it really simple. Bashar calls it the passion principle, excitement. When you follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability in each and every moment, synchronicity takes care of the rest. Life takes care of the rest. You just have to get out of the way and allow yourself to want completely what you want, and allow your heart to move in that direction despite the fear, despite the resistance, despite your relationships, despite everything. Let that passion in your heart be the most important thing, and life will take care of yourself. And once you get that, you probably don't need somebody like me in your life. Though until you are at that point where you feel passion just guides you fully, it's really good to have a guide. It's really good to have a mirror reflection. Because I can't teach you anything. I can only reflect to you your light, your essence. And as that reflects to you, that heart will wake up and will guide you. And for some people, for all of us really, until we get to a certain point, there's a lot of practices that really help. To go to the wounded child, to release traumatic memories, to release those stagnant emotional charges from this lifetime. And for some people, it's really relevant to go to other lifetimes to release those emotional charges, karma, whatever you call it, the things that keep patterns from recurring. So it is about really fully following your heart and fully following your joy. Yet that's also involving fully feeling the negativity, fully embracing the negativity. Whatever you love comes into perfect unison. Whatever you love has to integrate, because love is the force of integration. Principles of this universe: unity, unconditional love, attraction, free will. Most important concepts to understand and to grasp. They're really the most basic ones and the most fundamental of all. So that which you love will come into unity. Love the imbalances in your life and in your body, and feel them fully. Loving them involves feeling them fully, and perfection will ensue. It's actually simple, though life is complex. You don't have to complicate it. So I have a lot of tools. I have a lot of channeling sessions. I'm going to keep sharing more because it's what I love to do. I really hope to make a community as well as a healing school when I am at the point in my journey where I feel satisfied with my wanderlust, and when I feel satisfied with my own process of integration, my body is ready for it. I really want to build that center. So all of the support that I receive in exchange for what I offer is going towards that vision and going towards that dream. I have a Patreon site, and I often use crowdfunding to help take this to the next level when I feel it's necessary for that boost. When the universe is really calling me to open a big portal, that's there. So if you want to support me, I really offer it. And I have done all of my journey just on trust. I have a trust fund, and the trust is in my heart. It's not a monetary trust fund. As I said before, I spent all of my money on my ticket to come to Mexico when I first started journeying, and my life has been like that. I've been going from one place to another, to another, to another, just having enough for the next ticket. And it always works out miraculously, because when you put your trust in the universe will trust in you and give you that support, and will bring you to the people that trust you and give you the connection to abundance that you need to live your dreams. Anything is possible, and in these times, everything manifests almost instantly, and it's going to get shorter and shorter the time before what you put out and how it comes back when it comes back. So put out love, put out bliss, put out service, and you will be loved, you will be supported, you will be served. And it is simple, it is joyful, it is a blissful journey, and I'm continuing to enjoy every minute of it. How could you not with this magical lake? So that's who I am, that's me. Write to me, talk to me, book a session if you want, come to a retreat if you want, and we will have a lot of fun. More fun than you might be able to imagine it, but yeah, experiencing it is better than imagining it. That's why we're in physical reality. We can imagine so many things. It's all real. Okay. Sat namaste. I'll see you on the other side.